गुरुजनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Hari Bol. I was thinking about you, whether you know that we started or not. I was thinking because I don't.
I'm like no.
Okay, because I don't have your number, so I was thinking. So we started the life of Ajamil. Okay, this is one of the inspiring, narrations about the holy name. How the holy name is the topmost. It starts with the discussion between Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring, or rather yesterday we heard he was kind of recapitulating what he has heard from Sukadeva Goswami earlier, that you talked about Pravritti Marga, about the path of material sense enjoyment. By following this path, people will go maximum up to the heavenly planets, but they will not be freed from any kinds of sufferings. I also heard about Nivritti Marga, the path of renunciation, where people practicing renunciation, they will go all the way up to Brahmaloka, and from Brahmaloka they will get liberated and they enter into the planet of Vaikuntha. I heard about this also. And further, you spoke about the expansions of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, like the various oceans, rivers, continents, islands, herbs, forests, the expansion of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, or rather his creation. I also heard about all these things. And in the previous canto, you also mentioned about various hellish planets. There are several hellish planets, and you described what kinds of sufferings are available in all these hellish planets. So now, Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring from Sukadeva Goswami. Adhuneha Mahabhaga Yathaiva Narakan Naraha नानोग्रयातनान नेयात तस्मे तन्मे व्याख्यातुम अर्हसि। हे महाभाग, এই संसारे जे उपाय अवलंबन करिले मनुष्य नानाविध असह्य यातनामय नरक समूहे पतित ना হয়, আপনি এক্ষণে আমার নিকট সেই উপায় কৃপাপূর্বক ব্যাখ্যা করুন। So Parikshit Maharaj, we heard yesterday in the commentary to the first verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that Parikshit Maharaj was very much concerned about the well-being of all the living entities. the kind of suffering they have to undergo when they go to the hellish planets because of the sinful activities that they have performed. Because in the Lord's jurisdiction, whoever has committed sinful activities, he has to go to hellish planets and undergo suffering. And those who have done pious activities, they have to go to the heavenly planets and enjoy the fruits of the good activities. So, Parikshit Maharaj is rather concerned for those who are suffering in this material world, particularly in the hellish planets. After he heard about the various hellish planets, he was very deeply concerned. So now he is telling, "O great soul, in this material world, what should people practice or what should people do so that they will be freed, or they can rather escape from the intense or immense sufferings available in the hellish planets?" The suffering in the hellish planets is very, very difficult to tolerate, my dear Lord. Therefore, I want to know what practices or what should be done by the living entities so that they can escape, or so that they don't enter into the hellish planets. आपने एखने अमार निकट से उपाय कृपा पूर्वक व्याख्या करो. Tell me immediately. Just now I want to hear from you what should be done. Because one is Parikshit Maharaj, one can say that because Parikshit Maharaj is repentful for whatever he has done, he had put a snake around the neck of a rishi who is performing, he was in immense meditation. That itself is a sinful activity. One may say that Parikshit is concerned to be freed from his own sinful reactions. But no, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur told in the very beginning, because a Vaishnava, he is very, very concerned for the other living entities. For himself, he can undergo suffering, for unlimited period of time. Just now in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we heard about Vasudeva Vipra, when Mahaprabhu was in Kurmasthan, in Sri Kurmam. Vasudeva Vipra, he had leprosy. What kind of leprosy? In the 3rd degree leprosy. So the entire body, the pus is oozing out of his body. And there are so many worms living in those, cavities that got formed in his body. But the only thing that pained him was that he was not able to get darshan of Mahaprabhu. The worms are falling out of his body, but he is picking them up and putting them back on his body. Why? Because they may get trampled by some persons who are walking. And his body has become a source of food for these worms. At least I am able to help someone. This was the kind of feeling Vasudeva Vipra was having. He is not seeing any kind of suffering. But when he heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the place, he came there, he stayed in the place of a Brahmana, and this he came to know the previous night. Next day morning, immediately he made a plan to go and see Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu also the next day morning, he left that place. By the time this Vasudeva Vipra reached, Mahaprabhu's place, or the place where Mahaprabhu stayed, Mahaprabhu was not there. So that tormented him. He was totally, shattered from within. He was crying, shouting, "Oh, what misfortune! What kind of a misfortunate person I am! That Mahaprabhu had come all the way to this place and I have not taken his darshan." But he was not suffering because of his pain. Mahaprabhu immediately appeared there by seeing his, sincerity. He left, but he reappeared at that place. He embraced him. As soon as Mahaprabhu embraced him, his body became very handsome, beautiful body, free from any kind of disease. All these days, everyone were, rejecting him. Nobody wants to go near him because stinking smell from his body because of the disease. Nobody want to see him also, because who would want to see such a crippled person, distorted face and distorted body? Nobody would want to see or even go near him. Mahaprabhu embraced him, and by his embrace, his entire body got transformed, the very, very handsome body. Then Vasudeva Vipra says, "My dear Lord, please award me the previous body. I don't want this body. Because when I'm handsome, when we have a beautiful body or good body, then we will have pride. Oh, I'm so beautiful, I'm looking so nice." We spend a lot of time in front of the mirror, right? But face is not good, take away the mirror from my face. I don't want to see my own face. But if face is nice, then you will beautify ourselves. So he told, "Please award me my previous body, I don't want this body." Why? When there is pride, then I cannot perform bhajan. In sorrow I can perform bhajan. Nobody is coming close to me. Now everyone, "Oh, you are so beautiful," everyone will come to me. My time is lost in this. Then Mahaprabhu says, "No, you will not have any such problem. You will not be proud of anything. You constantly chant the holy name." So why I said this is that the devotees, they are never worried for their own suffering. Vasudeva Datta, you heard Vasudeva Datta. He told, "My dear Lord, I am not able to see the sufferings of all these living entities. Please give all the reactions of their sinful actions to me. I will suffer in hellish planets, but in return, please deliver them." Vasudeva Datta Thakur, he is praying to Supreme Lord like this. I cannot see the sufferings of so many people because Vaishnavas are paradukhe dukhi. By seeing others' misery, they become very distressed. We are just the opposite. Parasukhe dukhi. When others are happy, we will be unhappy. When the Vaishnavas are just the opposite. When others are unhappy, they are unhappy. They don't have any personal happiness of their own. So, here, Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring for the welfare of all the living entities. Parikshit Maharaj is not an ordinary person. Parikshit Maharaj has got a beautiful opportunity to be in the company of Sukadeva Goswami. Within 7 days, he attained perfection by simply listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. Not an ordinary soul. In the first place, he is a descendant of the Pandavas who are very, very dear to Krishna. And that is the reason he got the association of Sukadeva Goswami. And he got delivered. So, now he is inquiring, "Please immediately tell me, be merciful to me and immediately tell me what is the way by which a living entity can avoid going to hellish planets and hellish suffering." Krishna Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, "Nanogra yatanan नाना विविध प्रकार उग्र बोलिते तीव्र यातना सकल जेखाने तादृश नरक सकले जाहाते गमन करिते ना হয় তাহা আপনি আমার নিকট ব্যাখ্যা করুন। Please tell me a way by which one will not have to go to hellish planets where the suffering is very, very intense. Please tell me right away. লোক সকলের ইষ্ট ও অনিষ্ট সাধন এই দুইটি যেরূপ জ্ঞাতব্য তদ্রূপ অনিষ্ট পরিহার সাধনও জানিতে হইবে এই ভাব। Just like we all should know what is to be done and what is not to be done. That is very, very important to know. What should be done and what should not be done is also important. Not just what should be done is important. What should not be done is also important. But at the same time, if we have committed some mistake, how to get rid of that activity also should be known. Even though I know that what should not be done, I have done it. It happens because of our own nature, Prakriti. All of us have our own Swabhava, natures. Due to our nature, even though we know that we should not engage in this activity, still I engage in it. This is sinful activity, but still I cannot stop my mind or my body or my senses to do that. So even though I know I have committed, now please tell me how to get out of it. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is telling that as much important knowing what is good, what is bad, so much important is also how to get rid of bad activity. So please tell me how to do that. Shri Shuka Uvacha Na चेदिहैवापचितिं यथांहसः कृतस्य कुर्यान्मन् उक्तपाणिभिः ध्रुवं स वै प्रेत्य नरकान्नपैति ये कीर्तिता मे भवतस्तिं मयातनाः। श्री सुखदेव कहिलेन, हे राजन, এই জন্মে মনুষ্যগণ মন, বাক্য ও শরীর দ্বারা পাপ আচরণ করিয়া যদি ইহজন্মেই সেই মন, বাক্য ও শরীর দ্বারাই যথাবিধি মনবাদিযুক্ত ধর্মবিধি অনুসারে তৎতৎ পাপের প্রায়শ্চিত্ত না করে, তাহা হইলে তাহাদের মৃত্যুর পর আমি যে সকল অসহ্য যাতনাপূর্ণ নরকের কথা বলিয়াছি তাহারা নিশ্চয়ই সেই সকল নরক প্রাপ্ত হইয়া থাকে। Sukadeva Goswami is telling, my dear king, if one has performed some sinful activities in this life through his mind, body and speech, all of us are committing various sinful actions through these three only, through mind, through body and through speech. Body, by engaging in sinful activities; through mind, by mentally thinking about something. If we mentally think about something, then it will become manifest in the form of either speech or in the form of action. It begins from mental thinking, that is dhyayato vishayan punsaha, first contemplating on committing sinful activity. When we contemplate on committing sinful activity, then automatically Sangasteshu Pajayate, then all the good qualities of the bad actions. What are the good qualities of bad actions? At the end, good qualities means mind tries to, tell us, oh no, that is very nice, it is good. All those things our mind will slowly explain to us. And even though it's a bad action, because our mind is taming us towards that, bad thing, we will get tempted to do it. Dhyayato vishayan punsa sangasteshu pajayate. We will get attachment to it. Sangat sanjayate kama, and then our desire will intensify. Kamat krodho bhijayate, and when that intensified desire is not fulfilled, or when someone obstructs the fulfillment of our desire, krodho bhijayate, anger will come. It will manifest in the form of speech, or it will manifest in the form of action, whatever it is. In this manner, pranasyati, ultimately there will be a fall down. So, first is mind. That's why if mind is controlled, then everything will get controlled automatically. So, mind, speech and body. These are the three by which every living entity is performing sinful activities. So, my dear king, in this lifetime, living entity, and particularly it said Manushya means humans, not animals, because sins are there only for humans, not to animals. If we eat non-veg, then we will be punished. But a dog is eating non-veg, he is not punished. Why? Because he is acting according to his nature. The dog is acting according to his nature. Human, he has been given the knowledge of what is good, what is bad. He can think, oh, they are also living beings. How can I, kill them or deprive them of their own independence to live? They want to live. Like I don't want to die, even they don't want to die. But still, because we have got superior power or superior intelligence, we, kill them and we, eat whatever. So, that sin we have to undergo, the reactions of those sinful activities. But animals, they don't have to. Because They are ignorant. Ignorant in the sense that they have been given only that much of knowledge. Like a small child, if he is doing any mistake, mother and father will be scolded, not the child. The training is not good. The mother has not trained the child properly. Nobody will say child is bad, mother is bad, her father is bad. Why? Because in that age, they don't know what is good, what is bad. If mother says it is good for him, bad, bad. But he cannot discriminate. So there are no sinful reactions. But sinful reactions will happen later. So here it is said about the living entities, means particularly humans. The human beings, they are performing sinful activities through mind, through speech and through body. Whatever they have done in this lifetime, they have to atone for them in this very lifetime. Sukadeva Goswami is telling, not that okay, I have committed sinful activities, let me go on committing this lifetime, next life I will start atoning for these things. No. He is telling that whatever sinful activities one has committed by these three, mind, body, etc., one has to atone for these things in this very lifetime, my dear Parikshit. Only then one can escape from going to to hellish planets that I have described to you earlier. I have described what kind of sufferings are there. If one has to escape from that kind of suffering, whatever sins one has committed in this lifetime, in this very life they have to atone for that. Otherwise, it will become cumulative, it become, beyond our this thing. Shri Vishnachakati Thakur writes in the commentary, Tanmadhye Prathamatah Swashishya Maharaj Parikshiter Swamate Kotatuku Vyutpatti Hoiyache Taha Parikha Koribar Jonno Karmiganer Mote Naraker Pratikar Bolite Chen Na Chet Ityadi Duiti Shloke. Now, Shri Vishnachakati Thakur is very nicely harmonizing things here. He is telling that now already Parikshit Maharaj had heard so many things from Sukadeva Goswami. Now this is in the 6th canto, up to 5th canto, so many things have been heard by Parikshit Maharaj. Now in order to understand what kind of, understanding Parikshit had got so far from all these things, rather than trying to give him the best remedy, he started with the remedy in the karma kanda plane. Means you have to atone for your sins. Means you have done some bad activity, then similarly you have to do some good activity in order to negate that. So he wanted to understand what kind of understanding Parikshit Maharaj has got so far. Why? Because as we go along, I'll just reveal it. As we go along, we'll come to know that Parikshit Maharaj will say, no, this is not the proper manner. To atone for sins by performing another good activity is not a proper way. One action cannot kill another negative action, or it cannot nullify another bad action. Or this is not like transforming one's nature. I have done some sinful activity, I will do some good activity. No, it is not that. Like our Guru Maharaj used to say that all these, in India particularly, there are dharmashalas. Dharmashala? Charity houses. Charitable houses where you can go and stay free of cost. These days it is less, but there are so many persons, they construct temples, they construct free charity houses. If you go to Varanasi, etc., there are so many places you can go and stay free of cost, or maybe with a very minimum cost you can stay, because they have been constructed by great rich people, and they have given it in charity. Whatever maintenance is there, they will take care of it. Guru Maharaj used to say, because why do they do this? Because they earn money by illicit means, black money. Now if they earn, let's say 100 million dollars or rupees, whatever it is, they will say, oh, I have committed so many sinful actions, I will at least give $5 million in the name of some charity. So because of that, all my negative actions will be finished. So this is one kind of atonement they do. But the thing is, in India, I don't know in your country, probably everywhere it happens, they do some illegal or illicit action and then they do something in return so that,
Our country, they don't care.
they don't, they just do it.
They don't know karma, they don't know, they don't believe.
They just go on doing it. So, here, Parikshit Maharaj is telling that, okay, they have constructed a building very nice, but they have not stopped engaging themselves in sinful activities. They will construct another building after earning some more money, but they have not stopped. So this cannot be the right way of atonement. So I already revealed what's going to happen. Because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is trying to harmonize, he is telling that he wanted to understand what is the grasp of Parikshit Maharaj so far from whatever he has heard. Means a proper listener will definitely get such kind of a doubt. That, oh, you said this, but karma, the nature has not changed. This question he should get. Therefore, he is telling first, he gave the remedy as a karmi. On the plane of karma kanda, he gave this remedy. Sukadeva Goswami gave this remedy. ইহাইবা এই জন্মে মন বাক্য ও শরীর দ্বারা অথবা উহাদের মধ্যে একটি বা সমস্তের দ্বারাই যে সকল পাপ অনুষ্ঠান করিয়াছে তাহার अपचितिं प्रायश्चित यदि এই জন্মেই মৃত্যুর পূর্বেই না করে তাহা হইলে তিংময়াতনাম তীব্র यातनामय नरक समूह যাহা আমি পূর্বে বর্ণন করিয়াছি তাহাতে নিশ্চয়ই গমন করতে হয়. Therefore, the first remedy that Sukadeva Goswami gave is in this verse and the next verse also. In these two verses, he is giving the remedy for that. The remedy that he gave is that living entities, the human beings, whatever sinful actions, since one has committed through mind, speech or body, or by the combination of all the three in this life, before the death comes, one has to atone for all these things. Otherwise, one will have to go to hellish planets for sure. Because if it is not done, they will get compounded. All the sins, whatever we are, just like if we put money in the bank, it gets compounded. In a similar manner, our karma is like a deposit. This deposit is going to get compounded. If it is if we perform an action, bad action, it is better that we atone as quickly as possible. Not like, okay, let me wait, let me earn lots of money first and then I will do. No. You have to immediately atone for it. So he is telling that if it is not done, then they have to undergo suffering. Tasmat purai vasmiha papa nishkritau jateta mrityoravipadyatatmana doshasya društva गुरु लाघवं यथा भिषक चिकित्सेत रुजांग निदानवित अतएव मृत्युर्पूर्वै देह पटु थाकिते शीघ्र पापेर प्रायश्चित अनुष्ठाने यत्न करा उचित नतवा कालातिपात होइले द्विगुण प्रायश्चित्तेर आवश्यक है. He is telling that therefore before the death comes, while your body is still able to do action, you atone immediately. Now there are certain kinds of atonements, like you have to not eat for few days, or if you have to take bath in cold water. There are several kinds of atonements. What kind of what degree of sinful action you have performed, you have that degree of atonement also. It's not like, I earned 1 crore or $10 million and then I'll give $10 and then I'll be finished. No, you have to atone equally. So, here, when one grows old, or when one's body slowly decays, at that time he cannot undergo these, this kind of bodily penances to atone for whatever sinful actions one has performed. Therefore, he is telling that whatever sinful actions one has performed before death comes, and while the body is still, fresh and active, one has to atone for the sinful actions. Otherwise, as time progresses, forget about the body's decaying, as time progresses, the degree of atonement will be doubled. Means if you have done sinful action and if you want to atone after 10 years, then the atonement, because your deposit has increased because of the cumulative thing, your atonement quantity or quality of it will also increase in a similar manner. Just like you have taken a debt. You have taken debt from somebody, and then if you pay it in the next couple of days, or let's say in one month, then you are not at great loss, isn't it? Have you taken debt any time? You did? But if you postpone it for few years, then your interest will increase, isn't it? Isn't it? That's there in your country? Every country has it. It has to be there, otherwise banks will go bankrupt. It has to be there. It's a system. The more you keep the money pending, like EMIs are there, EMIs, you're paying EMI more. You're purchasing a car for, 10,000 or, 100,000, say, rupees, and then you are paying, by the end of 5 years, you are paying like, 200,000 rupees. But if you pay immediately, it's only 100,000. So, similarly, karma also. He's telling that if you immediately, before death, immediately you perform, then the atonement will be less degree. Otherwise, it will increase. Nidanavit chikitsak যেরূপ রোগের গুরুত্ব ও লঘুত্ব বিবেচনা করিয়া চিকিৎসা করিয়া থাকেন, তদ্রূপ পাপেরও মাহাত্ম্য ও অল্পত্ব বিবেচনা করিয়া তদ অনুরূপ প্রায়শ্চিত্তার্থ যত্ন করা কর্তব্য. Just like an expert doctor, he at first sees what is our problem, and then he sees what is the degree of our problem. Based on the degree of our disease or the problem, he will give the medicine accordingly. I have 5 days of fever, he will give one medicine. 1 month of fever, he will give another kind of fever. In a similar manner, expert doctor also, according to the degree of sinful action that we have performed, in the scriptures also it is there, as per the degree of the sinful action we have performed, there is atonement. Similar, that can cut or that can nullify that, action. যেহেতু এই প্রকারে তস্মাৎ অতএব মৃত্যুর পূর্বেই তাহাতে অতি সত্বরেই কৃত পাপের নিষ্কৃতির নিমিত্ত প্রায়শ্চিত্ত করিতে যত্নবান হইবে. So Sukadeva Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj that try to atone your activity as soon as possible, immediately, don't delay. अन्यथा बहुकाल परे किंतु द्विगुण चांद्रायण आदि कठोर व्रतेर अनुष्ठान करिते हইবে, कारण बैगुण्य दोष इहादेर হইবার संभावना. So otherwise there is a possibility that you have to atone twice as much as you have to atone previously. Therefore it is better that you atone as quickly as possible, just like very, very intense activities like Chandrayana Vrata. Chandrayana Vrata is one of the things like, it is like on a full moon day, Chandrayana, those who are observing Chandrayana Vrata, on full moon day, one will eat full meal. And as the the moon wanes out, fades out, the degree of your consumption should come down up until 0 on Amavasya, no food on Amavasya. And then slowly increase your diet up to full meal on next Purnima. So you have to gradually reduce your food and then increase. Like this you have to observe for few years or whatever it is. There is one kind of, for particular years you have to observe Chandrayana Vrata. It's very difficult, not eating and slowly reducing the quantity of food and then increasing it, then reducing it, then increasing it. It's very troublesome to the body. So if one is not atoning properly at a proper time, then one might have to undergo such intense penances also. There is another kind of penance, that you just put your head down, mean upside down, and then see the sun. That is another kind of penance. You have to look at the sun upside down for a particular time when sun is shining, not like early morning. So there are various kinds of atonements or activities to purify one's mind, body and speech. So he is telling that try to do them timely, otherwise you will have to atone twice or thrice as much as required. Anyatha बहुकाल परे किंतु द्विगुण व्रतेर अनुष्ठान करते होइबे कारण वैगुण्य दोष होइबार संभावना। अविपद्य आत्मना शरीर जाहाते क्षय ना होय, देह सुस्थ थाकिते थाकिते अर्थात जरा व्याधि प्रभृतिर द्वारा व्रतादिर अनुष्ठाने असमर्थ्य जतदिन ना होय ए अर्थ। मीन्स try to perform the बोलते चेन दोषस्य इत्यादि. So for that, where to find what atonement is to be done for what kind of action? He's telling that therefore you have to find a proper person, proper place or proper scripture where you can get atonement for what kind of atonement is for what reaction. You have to find a proper person who can tell us from the right scriptures. You have to do that. Just like रोगेर मूल कारण विषये अभिज्ञता संपन्न सुचिकित्सक जे रूप रोग समूहेर मूलीभूत दोष समुदायेर गुरु लाघवम गुरुत्व लघुत्व विवेचना पूर्वक यथोचित चिकित्सा करें, तद्रूप पापेर गुरुत्व लघुत्व अनुसारे कृत पापेर निष्कृतिर जन्य सुस्थ देही यथोचित प्रायश्चित संपादने यत्नवान होइबे. Just like when we have disease, we have to go to a doctor. Although medical books are available, Google has all the medicines in the store. You can tell I have fever for 5 days, I have these symptoms, Google will tell take this medicine. But still it is not the proper way. You have to go to a doctor. He will understand what is the degree of your fever or suffering, whatever it is, and then he will award proper medicine, remedy. In a similar manner, when we have committed one kind of a sin, we have to go to a proper person who is expert in all these scriptures, and then he will tell us this is what you have to do, what you have to not do. So better you do it before your disease intensifies. The more you keep the disease, the more it will intensify and the more it will become difficult to cure. Therefore, immediately approach a doctor. In a similar manner, when you have committed a sinful action, immediately try to consult an expert who can give you atonement and try to do it immediately, because when you get aged, you will no longer be able to perform the action or perform atonement. So in this manner, Sukadeva Goswami has advised Parikshit Maharaj. But Parikshit Maharaj differs in his opinion, which of course Sukadeva wanted. We will hear tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhyo evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Panchatattvatmak Shri Gaura Hari ki jai. Paramaraditam Patita Pavana Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Goswami Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Leela Pravishtham Vishnupad Pranamsa Stotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Daita Madhav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जाय. श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जाय. श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय। जय सुखदेव गोस्वामी परीक्षित महाराज की जय। जय श्रीमद् भागवत श्रवणकारी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।